Canada, our home and native land. True. Hey, welcome back to the High Button Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Justin Belanger. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do truly appreciate that. Thank you. There's tons of podcasts out there. Everywhere you look, left, right, center, there's a new podcast popping up. So I appreciate the fact that you tuned in here with me at the High Button. If you could do us a quick favor, go on over to our iTunes page, give us a rating and a comment. It's little things like that that allow the High Button to reach a bigger fan base. And at the end of the day, that's all we're looking to do is find more people to listen to our podcast. And that would be great. I appreciate that. Happy Canada Day. Oh, Canada. 152 years of, I don't want to say perfection, but, 152 years of, of a great history of a country. I think I've only been in this country for the past 27 years, and I don't really have too many complaints. I like it. Whenever I turn into the news and I see other countries and what they're going through, it makes me appreciate what we have here in Canada. Beautiful lakes, beautiful air, nature, wilderness, lakes. I love lakes. I don't live on a lake, but our family has a place on a lake, and I know other countries have lakes, but I just love lakes. I love getting out into the middle of the woods and relaxing, putting my feet up. I have an amazing hammock out by my lake. I lay in the hammock. I feel the wind in my face. I read a book. I lied there. I don't read a book, but I'll listen to a podcast. And I know other countries have lakes. I know that, there's nothing special about Canada when it comes to, these types of things. When you think of the States, yeah, sure, they have Montana where, I'm sure it's beautiful out there. Colorado, Denver, whatever. Middle America, I hear, is very beautiful as well. But I think it's what comes with this country. It's more bang for your buck. It's the people. It's the hospitality. It's the customer service. It's, when someone holds a door for you, a complete stranger says, have a great day. Yeah, maybe not in some parts of this country. Maybe there's a little bit, you're going to have a dick every now and then. That just comes with the territory. That's what comes with the territory of being born on this world. Not everybody is going to be what you want them to be. But all you can do is be the best version of you. Look in the mirror. Try to grow every day as a person. And hopefully that's good enough. And hopefully I don't know what I'm talking about. Jesus. But I love Canada. Canada's a great place to live. Oh, Canada, 152 years. So if you're from here or if you're somewhere else in the world and you are Canadian, just know that you should be very proud, especially in today's day and age of this country. So, yeah, enough about Canada. Today on the podcast, this guy, what do I say about this guy, Noah Dobson? So essentially, my introduction to Noah Dobson was 2018-19 when he won the Mem Cup with the Acadie Bathurst. I was watching him on Sportsnet, and the guy caught my eye. The guy caught my eye for the first time there, and how effortless, I guess, he made the game seem to him. When watching him on TV, he just always made the right play. He never really made a mistake. He was always on the ice, first of all, crazy amounts of ice time. And then he got traded to, then he did win a Mem Cup last year. Then he got traded to Rouen this year. And the Mem Cup was in Halifax this year. And Dudes and myself were fortunate enough to go to these games. And we were amazed by watching this guy in person. He was on the ice all the time. So I remember Dude said, you know what, we're tracking his ice time. I don't believe anyone else what they say about his ice time. I want to do it for myself. So Dudes got out his phone, started tracking his minutes, and they were up there in the 36, 40-minute mark of a game. We'd watch him. He wouldn't come off. He would stay out there. The coach wouldn't even talk to him. It almost seemed like he would go out when he wanted to, and he would come back when he wanted to. The guy also played on the World Juniors this year in Vancouver. Not the outcome that the team wanted this year, but still a household name in Canadian hockey. Drafted by the New York Islanders last year in 2018, 12th overall. If you ask me, the guy is going to be playing for the Islanders next year. There's just no way around it. The guy's, I don't want to pump his tires here too much, but he was definitely a treat to watch this year in Halifax at the Mem Cup. Obviously, they won the President's Cup this year in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. So think about that. That's like 4 cups. They got 2 President's Cups and 2 Mem Cups, this guy. So he has 4 cups in the past 2 years. I mean, What do you want me to say? The guy's resume speaks for itself. So we're lucky enough to have Noah come on the podcast. I'm sure his summers are full of relaxing, working out, being with his family, because the guy's playing a lot of hockey, and he's only going to be playing much more hockey in the NHL for the New York Islanders. So we met him at the Mem Cup. We got an interview with him, and we said after the interview that he's going to have to come on the podcast. He was more than welcome to. So this is our interview with Noah Dobson. Once again, happy Canada Day. Here we go. All right, Noah, we're going, man. Thank you for joining the show. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. How's life? The past 2 years have been pretty hectic for you. Now it's the summertime. You must be relaxing, I imagine.
Yeah, no, obviously, pretty crazy couple of years. It's definitely nice to be home now for the summer. I haven't been home much the last 2 years, so it's nice to be home with family and friends and just kind of relax a bit, get on the golf course a bit, and enjoy the summer and get ready for next season.
What do you do in PEI in the summertime? I remember going there as a kid. It's one of the best places to camp and golf and swim and do a bunch of stuff. What do you like to do out there?
Yeah, no, it's a pretty beautiful spot in the summertime. Last summer I didn't get a chance to be here much, so I'm happy to be here now. I mean, I'm a big golfer. I'm into the golf now, so I'm golfing lots with the weather and then with training and stuff, and then the beautiful beaches as well. So whenever you get the nice weather, it's either I'm usually at the beach or I get out to the golf course. But it's a great spot to be in the summertime. There's lots of guys, lots of my buddies are out golfing as well, so we have lots of fun with that.
The first time I was ever introduced to washer toss was in Summerside. Do you play washer toss?
Yeah, the odd washer toss game at one of the buddies' cottage or something, but there's lots of stuff like that go on in the summertime with games like that. It's a pretty laid back spot, so you can really enjoy it and relax here on the island.
Love it. So you just got back from development camp. How was that?
Yeah, no, it was really good, really nice to get back out to Long Island and see some familiar faces. It's a little less stressful going into my second year of development camp. Kind of know what to expect. I mean, last year, just being drafted and leaving the next day after the draft to development camp was a little stressful. You didn't really know what to expect, but it was a really good camp. Was able to learn lots and great coaching, and then got to a Yankees game at Yankee Stadium versus the Blue Jays as well, so that was pretty cool.
That's sick. What's Yankee Stadium like? I've never been to New York in general, so yeah, what's New York like? I heard it's just busy.
Yeah, no, it's the Islanders' facilities in Long Island, so it's kind of out of the busy part. But we went into the city, into the Bronx, where the Yankee Stadium is. It's a pretty incredible stadium. I mean, you see the amount of money they put into that stadium, and it's kind of a cool experience. The Yankees have such a rich tradition, so to be there to catch a game was really cool. But yeah, the city itself, it's a lot of traffic. You're waiting in traffic, so if you're not patient, it's probably not the best spot for you. But it's pretty busy, but it's nice. The Islanders' facilities kind of out of the way a bit in Long Island, so you kind of get away from all the craziness and all the traffic and that stuff and how busy it is in the city.
Have you figured out the subway line in New York yet?
No, I haven't got to that yet. I think it's probably take a little bit to catch on. I mean, there's so much moving parts to it, so I'm still trying to learn the ropes with that.
There's food, the dollar pizza. Have you ever gotten a dollar slice in New York yet?
No, I haven't. I mean, the only times I've been there is for the development camp, so you're just there for a short time. Then training camp last year, so you're pretty focused and you're pretty busy at the rink. But I'm sure once if I play with the Islanders one day, I'll be able to get out and venture all the stuff that you do in New York City.
Yeah, one day soon, I'm assuming, or at least I think in my mind. So what do they make you do here at development camp? The fans, all we get to see is things on social media and some video, but it looks like a lot of team building. What are some things, I guess, that the Islanders are doing at development camp?
Yeah, no, it's usually early on in the week you'll have like a practice and a workout each day. Then you'll kind of have a guest speaker, whether it be someone from the organization or one year they brought in a guy from a Navy SEAL, and he talked about like the experience of how in the Army it's kind of similar. You're in a team and you gotta have trust in each other's back. So you do a lot of team building stuff with that, which is pretty cool to hear other people speak rather than the coaches and stuff all the time. And then usually at night they'll give you an activity. Like we went to went to the Yankees game one night, then we went to like kind of a beach club one night where it was like there's lots of, you go out in the water and kayaks and stuff, so it was pretty cool. And then we did go-karting one night too. So they kind of put in the work in the morning with the workouts and skates and the power skating and all that, and they usually try and throw in a fun activity at night just so you get to meet the guys and kind of get away from the rink and enjoy yourself, as well as it's June, so you want to be focused on hockey, but at the same time you want to enjoy yourself and enjoy the experience.
You said that it's your second year there, obviously. Do you look to almost be a leader when you're going back to these development camps, or do you just almost want to be a sponge and listen to everything that everyone's telling you and, soak up the experience? Like, what's your mindset going into it?
Yeah, I think just a little bit of both. I mean, I know my first year I was just a sponge trying to soak everything up, and there was guys there who was their second or third camp, so I was able to kind of lean on them if I ever need anything. But come back this year, kind of know what to expect. I was just trying to soak up everything and learn as much as I can. But at the same time, there was guys there at their first camp, so if you saw someone who's looking for something or didn't know their way around that well, you try and help them out. So it's a little bit of both. You try and be a leader for the first year guys, but at the same time, you want to get better as a player as well, so you try and learn and soak up as much as you can. I mean, it's pretty cool. You have so many great professional coaches there to learn lots from, so you just try and soak it all up for the week and take it back with you in the summer and get ready for the main camp in September.
That's sick. I want to talk about the younger days. I saw that you played hockey in Austria. Is that right? Is my research right there?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know what sparked that. Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, no, my QMJHL draft year, I was planning on going off the island. I felt it was best for me, and I had a couple options. I was kind of looking into maybe going into Ontario and playing in the GTHL league there, and it ended up falling through, and it didn't work out. And the Red Bull Academy in Salzburg, Austria, the scouts there, like Paul Henry, Brian Savage, who played in the NHL for years with the Habs, and Pierre Paget were kind of the North American guys over there that were running it, and they ended up reaching out. And at first you're kind of like, I'm not going to Austria sort of thing. You're kind of on the fence about it. Then once I kind of looked into it more, they ended up saying like, we'll fly you and your dad out to come see the facilities and stuff, and like if you want to stay, you can stay, and if it's not for you, you can head back. So I ended up flying out with my dad, and the facilities were unbelievable. I mean, Red Bull sponsored everything, so you can just imagine the amount of toys they had there. With they had 2 Olympic ice services, the skate treadmills, the synthetic ice, the rapid shots, and all that stuff. It's kind of like a hockey player's Disney World. There's so much to do for a hockey player there to improve, and just the whole life experience as well. Living overseas in Europe at only 15, but on my own, so it was kind of cool that I got to see different parts of the world that I may never get a chance to get back to and play the game you love at the same time. So looking back at it, was really, really unique experience to look back from, especially at a young age, and I was really happy with my decision to go there.
Did you get free Red Bull?
Yeah, it was pretty cool all around the like we stayed at like academy, so our dorm rooms were there, and then you walk down the stairs, you got where you eat and the meal hall, and then you got the rinks and stuff. So and then around the academy there was a bunch of fridges filled with all these different type of Red Bulls. So
awesome.
That was pretty cool.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
So you said 15 years old. You can't lie, man. Like that must have been tough. 15 years old, leaving the house. Was there any, as soon as your parents left, was there any emotion that ran through you when your parents left? Because, that's the real deal, going overseas at 15 playing hockey. Or did you know almost at the back of your head, like, this is what I need to do in order to make the NHL? Like, what was your mindset, I guess, as soon as your parents left?
Yeah, no, it was definitely tough at times. I mean, with the time change as well, I think it was like a 6-hour time change, so like you don't get much chance to talk to the people back home. But I was pretty fortunate. We had a few North Americans over there, and Brian Savage, his son Ryan was there, so his whole family was over there, and they were really good for the North Americans. Like on the weekends, they take all the North American guys out, and we go skiing or something like that. So he was kind of like a family there that if we ever need anything, he made us feel comfortable. And then I was able to have one of my best buddies from Summerside as well, Jeremy McKenna, who plays for the Wildcats. He ended up coming over like a couple weeks after I got there, so it was cool to have your best friend there. So you kind of go through those as well whenever you're homesick or that stuff. You kind of have buddies there, and So overall, it was tough at times, but there's lots of North Americans there that you kind of were in the same shoes as you, so they kind of helped make the transition a little easier.
Okay, cool. You said that you went skiing. Are you more of a skier or a snowboarder?
I've tried snowboarding. I couldn't really get the hang of it, but that was actually my first time skiing was on the Austrian Alps, so it was pretty cool. I was pretty amazed by how big the mountains are over there, so I was definitely a little slow getting down the hill, but it was overall a pretty cool experience.
Nice, right on. So speaking of experience, I want to talk about two experiences. First, playing in Bathurst for the first time. What was your adjustment like playing in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League? Did you find it tough at the beginning and then you eased your way in, or did you just jump into it and felt comfortable right from the start?
Yeah, no, a little bit of both. I think it kind of helped the experience I had the years before being away from home. I kind of knew what to expect on living on your own, because that's kind of one of the adjustments for some guys. This is the first time they move away from home as junior hockey, so I kind of had that experience already. And then getting drafted to Bathurst was really cool. I mean, both my parents are from Bathurst, New Brunswick, so I ended up my builds for my grandparents actually. So
Oh, sick.
that made the transition a little smoother. I mean, you're getting your grandma's home cooking all the time, and she's taking care of you. But from the hockey side, my coach Mario, who's coached me the last 3 years, he was really good with me as a young player, just kind of easing into it at the start. Then after a couple months in, you really felt comfortable, and you started to get more of a significant role with the team. And then I'd say, like, after a few months, you kind of fit in. You just let your instincts take over. I mean, you're playing in a league with 20-year-olds and 19-year-olds, and you're still a 16-year-old kid. So there's definitely adjustment at the time, but I think with great coaches, they really helped that, and lots of great teammates were around too. So if you ever need anything, they're always there to help, like the veteran guys. So they're really good with me, and it made the transition a lot easier.
What's your favorite dish your grandmother cooks?
Oh boy, I think there's lots, but I know she makes. I don't really think I can name one. She's a really good cook, so she's always. I wake up in the morning, she'd have the breakfast ready, the eggs and bacon and some toast and fruit and all that. So I was pretty fortunate. She spoiled me pretty good for a few years there.
Did you ever? I'm assuming you've met Sean Couturier. What's he like as a guy? Obviously, a great NHL player. What was it like meeting him?
Yeah, no, he was a great guy. I got to meet him a couple times. Obviously, with his dad being the general manager in the summer times, he's back in Bathurst a bit. And it's my first year was pretty cool. They actually had like a ceremony in the summer where I was at. Some of the players were at. They named like the road that you drive into the rink, named Sean Couturier Avenue. So it says a lot about the type of person he is and how much of a big of an impact he has on the city of Bathurst. So he was a great guy, a really cool guy to meet, and it was pretty cool to see a street named after him.
That's sick. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Dobson Street one day. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, and then winning the Mem Cup there, your second year. You know, you won the President's Cup, and then you just go ahead and you win the Mem Cup, I guess just because you want to. You know, obviously none of this is part of the plan. You hope for these things, but as soon as they set in and they happen, you know, what was your experience, I guess, winning those two trophies there?
Yeah,
for the first time.
It's kind of weird how it works out. You're like in the season, you don't really realize how good of a team you're on until it's after the fact and you've won the championships. So like going into the season, I knew we were going to have a real competitive team, but as the season goes on, and you're still in the top two in the league, and then you get into playoffs, and next thing you know, you snap your fingers and you're in the President Cup final, and you're like, wow, like this is a really good team we're on. We have a really good chance to do something special here. But it's we had an unbelievable group of guys, like real close knit group, and to win the championship on Game 6 on home ice too in the city of Bathurst, which is kind of known as a market, but doesn't get a lot of fan support. But we had incredible support that whole second half, and the playoffs they really ramped it up. So it was really cool to win in Bathurst with our fans, and the celebration afterwards was unbelievable. And then going into the Memorial Cup, we're kind of like the underdogs. I'd say the Q's usually gets little underdogs, which I mean the last 2 years the Q's won the Memorial Cup, so maybe that'll change. But
yeah, I think you helped out because of that, though. That's because of you.
Yeah, so we were kind of underdogs, and going in we didn't really know what to expect, so we just kind of focused on that first game, and you win the first game, you get yourself in the tournament, because that means you're going to be guaranteed to play in at least a tiebreaker game. So we just won the first game, and we just kind of rolled, and we had lots of confidence after that, and obviously winning the World Cup was an incredible experience. I mean, we beat the home team in Regina, so then when we got back to Bathurst off the plane, it was like 5,000 people there with a town of population of 12,000, so it was a really cool experience. I was happy to win those two championships in that city. I think they deserve it. It's a small market. They have a real passionate fan base now, especially now after winning the championships, and to have family in the city too. It's pretty special. You're gonna have memories for the rest of your life.
And the goalie on the team, Evan Fitzpatrick, he was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. You got to give me some dirt on him. He seemed like a really normal guy, but everybody knows goalies have their weird thing. So what was his when you guys won during the season?
Oh, geez, I don't really know where to start with Fitz. Yeah, he came in at Christmas, and we ended up being roommates on the road, so we got to know each other pretty good. But I mean, that guy's always glued on FaceTime on the road with his girlfriend. So I think that's one thing that he's pretty dialed on the road. You don't hear much from him. He's always on his phone on FaceTime. But he was a great guy. He was a great roommate to have, and got to score lots of goals on him in practice. So it was always good for the confidence shooting on him.
We just need you two both on the podcast. I'll just sit here and shut up. You guys just go back and forth at each other.
Yeah, no. He was great for us, especially down the stretch. I mean, he got a shutout in the World Cup final. I don't think many goalies can say that. So he was a great player for us, and was a great guy as well. It was great to get to know him, and we're still in touch now today. And usually see him, bumping him a couple times around the summer, whether I'm skating in Halifax or he's over on the island. So he's a great player for us.
I want to talk about the World Juniors. Obviously not the best outcome of what you guys wanted, but I just want you to talk about that experience in general, representing Team Canada.
Yeah, it was, I mean, like you said, it wasn't the outcome we wanted. Obviously, you want to win the gold medal, but representing Canada on that big of a stage in Vancouver on home soil, I mean, it was a dream come true. I mean, the amount of fans, I mean, every game was, I think it was like pretty sold out in the NHL arena, so that was really special, and just wearing that maple leaf is a dream come true and a huge honor. So the whole experience itself is something that you're going to remember, but obviously it would have been nice to win the gold medal for the fans, and but overall it was just an incredible experience and something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well said. And you did. You mentioned that obviously the tournament was in Vancouver. Myself and Dudes just got back from Vancouver. We were at the NHL Draft, and we weren't even getting drafted. We were hoping to get drafted. Obviously, we didn't, but we had a great experience, and we couldn't imagine. You got drafted into the NHL by the New York Islanders. So I just want you to talk about your experience getting drafted. Where was it again? It was Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah. So talk about that experience.
Pretty surreal weekend still looking back at it. I mean, it's a pretty quick turnaround. After we won the World Cup, I was right to the combine, and then after the combine, I think it was 10 days, and then I was off to the draft. So once you got all that stuff over with, and you got to Dallas for the draft, it kind of set in that you're going to get drafted to the NHL, and just to have all your friends and family there, you go out for dinner with them, and I mean, looking back at it, I was pretty stressed during the day before the draft, so I think that was one thing I'd change, just to enjoy it a little more. But you get like that, you want to know where you're going, and you have all these scenarios going around in your head. But once my name was called to get drafted to the Islanders organization was a huge dream come true, and I think just special moments like after your name's called, giving your parents a hug and your sister and stuff, those are kind of memories you have for the rest of your life, and just couldn't be more excited now to be part of the Islanders organization.
We somehow got lucky, and we stayed in the hotel that the players were staying in, and the GMs and the coaches and everything. And we noticed the trend with the players, how they almost kept to themselves. There was a bunch of autograph seekers outside, and players didn't really sign autographs. Players stuck to themselves before the draft. Is that because they're so nervous and they want to keep to themselves? They know they have to do these interviews with the GMs. Like, is that how you felt almost? You just wanted to stick to yourself before you heard your name called?
Yeah, no, I think that just comes with the nerves and anxiety of the whole experience. I mean, the combine itself is pretty stressful with all the interviews with the GMs and stuff. Then once you get there, it's so close that you kind of taste it. But at the same time, it's in your back of your mind how stressful it is, and you don't know, you don't really know where you're gonna go until your name's called, unless like you're projected like first overall pick. But
Yeah.
it's I think that just comes with the nerves and stress of it. But I think that's part of it. I mean, some players all guys are different. Some guys are more loose and they just go out there and see what happens and enjoy it. But some guys are pretty stressed and they get uptight. So I think it just has something to do with that.
And what was it like meeting Don Cherry at the Stanley Cup playoffs last year? What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was a pretty cool experience too. I mean, you watched him so many years growing up on Hockey Night in Canada, and he's such a icon in the hockey world still today. So it was really cool to meet him and just be around the Stanley Cup final. It was an incredible experience. I mean, the streets of Washington, everywhere as you went, were filled with people with the watch party outside. So just being in the lower bowl too, watching that game, it was crazy how packed it was. I mean, we were there for warm-ups and there wasn't an empty seat and it was loud, so it was, looking back at it, was a really cool experience and kind of gives you the motivation one day hoping that you're able to play in a Stanley Cup final.
Did you meet Ovechkin?
Yeah, we actually we did went to the Washington practice facility before the morning skate. So we got to meet, so it was kind of cool. Ovi came out, took a picture with us. He's walking around in his underwear and his skin-tight shirt, so it was kind of funny looking at the picture. He's got his underwear on and his shirt on, but got to meet him, got to meet some of the other Washington guys, and we went over to the Capital One Arena, I think it's called, and we got to meet the Vegas guys too. So overall, it was pretty cool. I mean, it says a lot about those teams. I mean, they're taking time to meet us. It was morning skate before like Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, so it's a lot about them. They took time out of their day to meet us, so that was really cool and stuff that we're going to remember.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about this year. You know, you got traded to Rouen. They were one of the best teams in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League as you were going there. Actually, as you got traded, Heinem was on our podcast. As soon as we were done the podcast, Heinem looked at his phone and I think he found out that you got traded to the team and he was pumped. So I want to get your reaction of being traded there. Obviously, it couldn't have been that easy knowing that you're leaving your grandmother's or wherever you were leaving in Bathurst and going to a northern Quebec team. So what were the emotions when you first got traded?
Yeah, a little bit of mixed emotions, I'd say. I mean, when I left for the World Junior Camp, I knew I was going to be moved, and I knew it was coming pretty well the whole time I was there, the first half. So you kind of had it in the back of your head that you knew it was coming. But obviously, when you do get traded and it comes through, it's tough leaving a place where you created so many memories when you win a championship there and with my grandparents, like you said. But I was a little on the edge at first going to a place in northern Quebec, but I think knowing they had a couple of maritime guys like Tyler and Ryan McClellan, I mean, they were really great. I mean, don't want to pump tires too much. He's already got a big head after scoring a few game-winning goals in the World Cup, but he was really good for me, and we were roommates on the road. He's really welcomed me into the organization, and just knowing Mario Pouliot, my coach in Bathurst for the first 2 years, was there too, so he played a big role in getting me there, and guys like Tyler and Ryan made the transition a lot easier, and as well going play for a coach that you're comfortable with made it easy too, and I had unbelievable abilities, and the whole organization itself was really great and made the transition easy.
So then you end up winning the league. I don't even know what question to ask, but you won the league. I hate asking the question, what was your emotion, but I have to ask it. What was the emotion knowing that you just won back-to-back President's Cup?
Yeah, it was like I said, it's kind of hasn't really all sunk in yet. I don't think it happened so fast, like when you're in the moment. But it was really cool. I mean, it's you dream of winning championships all your life. I mean, that's why you play the game. And I was fortunate to win one in Bathurst and win another in Bathurst, and then this year to do the same thing again. I mean, it's pretty fortunate to play on so many great teams, but it was a great series too versus Halifax. I mean, it was tight. I mean, I was getting anxious near the end going in Game 6, but it's really cool, especially winning the Maritimes was nice. Having lots of friends and family there, and it was it's pretty cool to say you're a back-to-back President's Cup and Memorial Cup champion.
So coming into Halifax, knowing that the Memorial Cup was here, was there more pressure on you? Because, in my mind and in Dudes' mind too, when we were watching you from up above, we were thinking, the guy, you already have a Mem Cup, you already have a President's Cup, you're already drafted, you're already signed. Like, we just found that the pressure wasn't there for you, but yet you still played amazing. You logged a bunch of ice time, and you rose to the occasion. So in your mind, was there less pressure going into this Mem Cup, or do you still put pressure on yourself in order to, to produce?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I mean, my first Memorial Cup, I was a lot more stressed and a lot more pressure on myself, I feel like, because it was my draft year, and it's your last chance to leave an impression on the scouts, so you were putting pressure on yourself for that. And I think this year going in, I was a little more calm and composed, I think, with just the experience I had my first year and knowing what it's like there. At the same time, already being drafted, so you're not worried about that in the back of your head, but you still put pressure on yourself to play to your expectations and kind of do whatever you can to help the team win. But I definitely felt a lot more comfortable, a lot more calm and composed going in my second World Cup, just knowing what to expect and the experience I gained my first one, and just not having the whole draft rankings and all that stuff in the back of your head as well.
Has anyone booed you this summer yet?
No.
Just like outside of the ring?
They'll throw out a boo here and there just to make a joke at it, but I heard lots of that in a month time. I spent in Halifax for all May, so don't need to hear any more of that, I guess.
Hey, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure you're going to get less and less boos as your career goes on. I'm sure New York is going to love you. And like I said, man, just thanks for taking the time out and coming on the podcast.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Why men great till they gotta be great? Woo! I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You coulda had a bad bitch, not committal. Help you with your career, just a little. You're supposed to hold me down, but you're holding me back, and that's the sound of me not calling you back. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True hurts needed something more exciting. Bum bum dum dum bum. You tried to break my heart, oh that breaks my heart. That you thought you ever had it, no you ain't from the start. Hey, I'm glad you're back with your bitch. I mean, who would wanna hide this? I will never, ever, 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 ever be your side chick. I put the singing single, ain't worried about a ring on my finger. So you can tell your friend, shoot your shot when you see him. It's okay, he already in my DM. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True hurts needed something more exciting. Bum bum dum dum bum bum. I'ma hit you back in a minute. I don't play tag, bitch, I've been it. We don't fuck with lies, we don't do goodbyes. We just keep it pushing like aye, aye, aye. I'ma hit you back in a minute. I don't play tag, bitch, I've been it. We don't fuck with lies, we don't do goodbyes. We just keep it pushing like aye, aye, aye.